Can anyone see my screen? Can anyone see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today would be so interesting. Today we are speaking on some key concepts. These key concepts actually aid us in doing a lot in this field. So today we'll be talking about them and knowing what and knowing how to do them, what they are all about. The first one is called arrow functions. I taught this before, but I choose to actually teach it again. So arrow functions are very important because most persons still don't know what they are. I'll teach Destructuring. I've not taught that before, but today is all about arrow functions. Now, arrow functions are just shorter ways to write your functions. They are just like short, precise, concise way in writing your functions. More better, more efficient, and more quick. Arrow functions. Now, what are the key features in arrow functions? We have implicit return, lexical this, and concise syntax. So, for instance, we have const a b equals to, and the arrow symbol a plus b. This is like a 3-line of code when you're writing the normal function. Now, someone would ask, why are we learning arrow function? Can it replace the normal way of writing your function? Yes, you can choose either one of them, either of them. Arrow function is just an ES6 feature that is provided to you to write your codes more effective. In your current project, I want to engage us. I want to encourage us that we should use more arrow functions because it has shorter syntaxes, it is more readable, less boilerplate. You don't need to write much. You don't need to write the whole world. Something that will take 50 lines can be shortened to just 25 lines using arrow functions. So why can't we now use it? What are the use cases of arrow functions? We have things like handling events, array methods, and callbacks. These are some use cases that we actually employ the use of arrow functions. Arrow functions are more short. Arrow functions are more short. So for example, these are script.js. Sorry, please, let me still confirm. Can anyone still see my screen? Can anyone see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for instance, in JavaScript, we have this. So in JavaScript, we have this is the normal way of we writing a function. So let's say maybe we create something like this. This is the normal way as functions are being created, right? So we have function add. We have what we call function add. This is a normal way of writing function. Function add a, b, return a and b. Beautiful and fine, but we also have a more better way for you to write your function, which is called the arrow function. So the arrow function is something like this. You have your const. You know what const means. These are ways we use in declaring variables. So with your arrow function, everything goes on in one line instead of, see, look at this. The normal one had to take us 3 lines. The normal way of writing the function declaration took us 3 lines, but the arrow function just went in one line. So all you need to do is use either of the keywords, const, let, var, as you want. And when you do that, you write your function name. So this for the name of the function is called add, and then you write equals to, then your brackets, you put what are you doing. This, in this place, we put in our, this place is called the params. We call this params. So the params means, why is my this is not working? Sorry, just a second. Okay, now, okay. All right, so inside of these brackets, anything that comes inside of these brackets is called parameters. Anything that comes inside of these brackets are called parameters. They are like the data reference you want to use in manipulating your function. So let's retract to the data stored in it. All right, so this is how an arrow function um, is. An arrow function is a short, precise way of writing functions. Instead of going to do too much, you could just do this and then you're okay. Does anyone have any question? Does anyone have any question? Is there any question from this? All right, so please, in your codes, whenever you're writing a function, try as much as possible to actually employ the use of arrow functions. It's actually more short, it's actually precise, it is clean, it is readable. On just seeing it alone, I already know how, I already know what it is. So let's write another arrow function before we move on. So let's say function, okay, maybe a function that says hello, that a function called hello name. So inside of it, this is the normal way of writing our function. You already know. This is the normal way. We all know that we write our function. But how about writing it, instead of writing this function like this, is the normal way of writing function using the function declaration keyword. But an arrow function was introduced during the ES6 features update. So instead of writing function say hello, why not use arrow functions instead? It is more precise, it is more concise, it does a whole lot. Name it. So let's now write the same thing we wrote in arrow function. So arrow function. All right, so you can see, I did not tell you to do this. So okay, so you can see every single thing we did. So instead, this is normal way of writing your function, but when you use an arrow function, you have something like this. You have something like this. Say hello is the name of the function. The name inside is the parameters, as I've said. Then use your equals to, and then you use your arrow, which is this, equals to and your greater than, and then you use your backtick. So this for me, this for me, it's nothing. This for me, this is like a template literal, right? So don't mind the too many funny things you're seeing. I hope we understand. So use your backtick, and the most important thing is we've been able to write an arrow function to communicate this same thing that was there. So in arrow function, you don't need the function keyword. No, You just need your normal variable declaration keywords. Pick any of them, call space the name of the function you choose, and then equals to the parameter you want to name it, whatever parameter you choose to do your thing. It is more shorter, it is more cute, it is more faster and efficient. Name it a whole lot. So functions do a whole lot. Functions do a whole lot. Functions do a whole lot. Does anyone have any question before we move forward? Does anyone have any question? So as this arrow function is like this, we can, let me clear this. So as this arrow function is like this, I can come below. I'll pick out the name of the function. Let me pick it out. I'll now come below, put it here, and I would then just print out the name. Let me, so I can now say inside Grace. I can just pick a random name, and put Grace, Let me console log it so that we have it in our function. It's supposed to print out our name. All right. I'll not be having so the, yeah, this is better. So all right, so first of all, we have the first output called Hello Grace. We have the second one called 15. What did we do? You just, the output doesn't matter. It's just you learning how to write an arrow function. This one you can see was the first one we did, where we picked up a function called add. This function is going to be adding two numbers. So anywhere you call up this add so we can now come here and even do other ones. You don't need to write this function again. You know the purpose of function, reusable tags whenever you have tags that you want to be repeating. So you can come here, you know. So you can come here and okay. We can also create another student and then use the add whatever. You see that we'll still be having same output. So if you come here and print out students, you have, so let's console log this. All right, so in summary, arrow functions are concise, shorter way of writing functions. Arrow functions is a short way. It's a method used in writing short functions. Make your code more readable, more explanatory, and what have you. So let's continue. The next thing we'll be learning is called destructuring. Destructuring. So let's go to our slide before we come back to this. Now, destructuring. What does destructuring means? Destructuring is a way you use in extracting your data. It's a way in which you use in extracting your data. So if you have, let's say you have a large form of data, how do you want to extract the data without having to write out everything in full? How do you extract this data? That's what destructuring does. We have lots of ways we use destructuring. Destructuring, in simple terms, is just a powerful feature, a powerful way. It's a pattern to which you use in JavaScript that allows you to extract values, extract data from objects and arrays, and then assign them to another variable. Destructuring, let me go over it again. Just as the slide says, used to extract values easily, pull values from objects and arrays with ease, simplify assignments, streamline your variable assignment, and this is an example. We'll do the practical aspect, but get the definition. Let me go over it again. Destructuring is a technique, it's a way, it's a feature, name it, that is used to extract values, that is used to extract objects and arrays. Sorry, that is used to extract values or data from objects or arrays and assign them to another variable. So let me use an example so that we understand. It's like so if you want to bake bread, you have to go and buy flour. Flour is like a key ingredient in the making of flour, right? Now, imagine how blessed flour is. Like inside of flour, we have bread, we have donuts, we have egg roll, we have meat pie. Just imagine, it's a very blessed product. That's the same way it is in the structuring. So imagine you have a particular object. That object in this example we just gave is like flour. Now, so you now use the structuring and go into flour and extract bread, extract meat pie, extract name it. We have puff puff, we have name it. There are so many things, bread that it offers. That's the same thing we are trying to make sense out of this. Destructuring is that same technique we use in JavaScript to extract values, to extract data out of objects, out of array. You know what array means. Once you extract those values out of them, you now assign them to a variable. You now store them inside another variable. Please, can anyone hear me? Let me confirm that.
Sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's what destructuring means. All of these I'm teaching are ES6 features, and we use them on a daily in React and Next.js. Arrow functions, destructuring, spread operations, these are what I'll be teaching from today to tomorrow, so that we have in-depth understanding of these things. So destructuring, I will go over it again, is a way we use in extracting values. Somebody gave a review about our class that we talk too much. So I was like, this, if you use your time to explain, someone will still say, so if you use your time to write more codes, someone will still say, I don't understand what is going on. He just writes code, he doesn't explain. So when I go over definitions 5 to 6 times or 10 times, I'm trying to make sure it sticks to your brain. I believe most of the examples I've used in real life, actually you remember them from the beginning of our class. There are so many examples, even the whole sardine scenario and all of that. So in as much as it's a technical class, you need to do hands-on. You should also know these things. At least you will go from today and know that this is how an arrow function looks like. This is how destructuring looks like. So let's go over to the practical example and then we continue. Now, so destructuring, as I've said, you understand. This is an example of how destructuring looks like. All right. So this is how an object looks like. This is an object in JavaScript. An object. You create a person variable. Look at it. You create a variable called person, and then you create an object inside of it. Once you create this data inside of it, it now becomes an object. Now, this object, you already know what this console.log is for. Now, inside of this is not a destructured object though. We'll extract the values out of it. It's not yet destructured. Now look at this. We have name equals to John. John's age is 20. John's city is New York. You know all of these. By looking at it, basically looking at it, you already know this is it. Now, is there a better way to do this? Yes, there's a better way to do this. How do you now do it? Normally, so without destructuring, like if you don't want to do destructuring, blah, 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 you can have, so this is without destructuring, we used to do something, we normally do something like this. Const name equals to person, So usually, look at this. Whenever we want to extract any of this data from this, we'll now go and be creating variables like this: const name, person, this person dot name, and store it inside. Const age, person dot age, this person, this thing, object you created dot the age. Then the city will now do person dot city. That's how we normally do it. But it's not nice. Doesn't make you a refined programmer. You should be able to destructure data sets, object data sets. So anytime now we want to output any of this, we're now going to be doing person.name, person.city, person. It's not nice. Your code is long, it's buggy. Why can't you have a shorter way of doing it, a simple way? Why not extract whatever values you want and do your thing? So instead of doing all this, now we now have something like this. So we now have something like this. We now have now this is a proper way. Let me clean this person.name inside the console.log. Now look at this. With this now, you've performed destructuring. This is how destructuring looks like. Const name, age, and city equals to person. Now, whenever you want each of them, all you need to do is just write name. It's the name inside will be the thing that will be printed out. You don't need to go and be doing person.name, person.age, person.city. Nah, it's not needed. So to access this database, sorry, not database, this object data sets, you would perform this form of destructuring and then use the name of the data you want to use at any point in time and enjoy yourself. So you can see name, age, and city. So if we want to see the output of this, let's go and so I can do node script.js and let's see the output. So you can see what is printing down below. Wait, so hold on. There are some things that where did this one come from? Spread operator. All right, spread operator is our next class. Maybe that's why. Node script.js. So you can see John age is 20, John city is New York. This is how the structuring is used. Does anyone have any question or clarification? Nobody is asking questions. We are just swallowing it and we understand it on the fly. That's good. So nobody asks questions. Wow. Does anyone have any question? Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay, go on.
So what's the use case for this destructuring that we're studying now?
You wanted to what?
And so what's the use case? When do we use destructuring? What is the use case?
So use the structure when you have large data sets you want to manipulate. Anytime you have large data set, for instance, you're working with React and you have some JSONs you want to fire up, destructuring is what you use. You cannot gonna be writing normal without destructuring. You cannot gonna be doing that. You have slow run time, and there are some other little things. So destructuring, whenever you want to unpack any data set, I don't know how best to explain to you, but in summary, destructuring is used when you have large data sets you want to unpack and display. Does anyone have any question?
So my question, what about for each and map?
We've not come to that now. Calm down. It's part of our class for this weekend. I've taught that before, but I'm teaching all of them again. That's array
Okay,
methods.
sir.
Now we've not come to that. We taught it some weeks back and we're teaching it again. So just calm down.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. And another thing for the guy that asked earlier, use cases of destructuring. You can also use it for API responses. Destructuring can be used, you can use it to extract values, data set from API responses. So there are use cases you can even use it to drill props. You can use it to extract props in React component. There are some few lots of why use cases of it. So as we build and go on, you understand better. Does anyone have any question? Is there any question? That means we understood what's going on. Okay. All right. The next one is called spread and rest operators. This is where we'll stop for today. I won't go further than this because I want us to swallow it. So let's go on. Now we have what we call spread and rest operator. Now, spread operator is used to actually collect, expand an object into a new data. So for instance, let me confirm before, let me not just be teaching on the go. We've taught two things this afternoon, arrow functions and destructuring. Is there any question? Don't keep silent. If there's anything that looks funny to you, please ask your question. Nobody is seeing each other here, so don't be shy. Is there anything that looks funny to you? Okay. So let's go on. Now, spread and rest operators, what are they used for? So the spread operator is used to expand an iterable array of objects into individual elements. The spread and rest operator are two related. They are related, but they are a bit distinct from each other in JavaScript. The rest operator is used to collect multiple elements into an array of objects. You get? Spread expands an iterable. It expands an iterable into individual elements, while rest collects multiple elements into an array of objects. Both operators are useful for working with arrays and objects in JavaScript. As you can see, I'll take it slow again. So spread operator is used to expand an iterable, like an array or object, into individual elements. So let me show you an example of what I mean. So you create a variable, and then we're studying all of this. This is an iterable. This is called an iterable. It's an array. As you can see it now, this is an array. I believe we all know what an array means. This is an array. Now, how do you perform a spread operation? You now create another variable and do as if you want to create a variable, but this time you're using the spread operator. So the spread operator will now work like this. You put the first full stop, second full stop. You must write the three full stop, and then the name of the old variable you created up here, which is called digits. Yes, which is called digits. And then when we console.log this, So let's console log this. Let's know what the output will be. Node script.js. So you can see we got the output of this. You can also do some other funny things. You can now come to this place and still do your thing. I can come here and do 6, and add more. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then let's go and output this. Node scripts.js. So you can see. So even the numbers we added have actually showed up. So that's what spread operators do. There you use it to expand. You use it to expand an iterable, which is an iteration. You use it to expand it. That's the use of it. It is used to expand an iterable into individual elements. Does anyone have any question before we move over to spread? Okay. Some persons might say, what are the use cases of spread operators? We use them when we want to merge arrays. We use them when we want to, merge objects, name it. A whole lot, even overriding properties. We use the spread operators. Does anyone have any question? Can anyone hear me?
I have a question.
Okay, go on.
And please, when you did the console.log, was it not the new digits that was supposed to show as the outputs? Why is it still the old ones that are showing?
It's the digits that is showing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go and check. It's the digits. Let me kill this terminal. See. Oh, are you talking about why this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is showing?
Yes, sir. They're not supposed to
No,
be the
they're not supposed to disappear. They're supposed to be there.
All right.
Do you get
Why?
the point? You're
Yes, sir.
using it to expand. The purpose of spread operator is to expand this iterable. Expansion means they will not be the same. They will not remain the same. You understand? Do you grab?
I think so.
Okay. Does anyone have any question? Does anyone have any question? Okay, so we clearly understand. Let me ask again. Is there anyone who has a question? Okay, so I have a question. Let me ask. Since we don't have a question, let me ask. Can someone help explain what destructuring is all about? Is there anyone that can explain what destructuring is all about? Hello, so are you trying to speak? We can't hear you.
I said I want to try.
Okay, okay.
Okay, the structuring is a JavaScript method mostly used on arrays and objects to extract individual values from an object or an array. For instance, you have, as you earlier stated, we have an array of, an object of persons. Each of those objects has a value and a key. For instance, we have name, the name of the person, we have age and the number of his age, and we have New York City. So, for instance, you earlier show us how we can extract those numbers traditionally, but we saw that the methods were very long and they're like 3 lines of code, whereby we can use the structure to use 1 line and we'll capture all of them. All we need to do is what we declare a variable that like const, then we use curly braces and then start extracting those values. For instance, we said we have name, we have age, and we have city. So we inside the curly braces we put name, comma, city, age, comma, and city. Then you now say equals to what? The object or the array. Then you can now start consolidating them individually if you want to use them separately. That's what I understand with the structure.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Beautiful. Is there anyone that also what he explains is a pitch perfect of it? Is there anyone who also wants to contribute?
I don't think so.
Sorry, your mic is not muted. Okay. Who wants to add to what he has said? Attendance is open now. We can also sign in and take our attendance. Is there anyone who wants
So let
to
me
add?
try based on our understanding.
Okay, go on. Go
Hello,
on.
sir.
Go on. Go on. Go on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Go on.
Okay. Okay. Based on what I understand, example like you have an object of name, maybe age and occupation, and you want to get like an individual value. Maybe you just want to get the name of the person. You just through the structure and you just pick out the name of the person. Or you want to just get the age of the person, you just use the structure and you just get that value that you want. Rather than going through all the three processes again of each of the value.
Nice. 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 Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. So who can? What he said is made a very big point. Can someone also explain? So if the reason why I'm doing all of this is if you don't also get my own explanation, at least you should be able to get from others. Now, going further, is there anyone that can explain spread operators, what it is used for? Can anyone teach us so we can learn from you also? You can contribute to the class. Let me hear from you. Just unmute your mic and speak.
Please, I have a question.
Okay, go on.
Okay, about this, when you're trying to get this thing, is it
You
the
say
when you're trying to get the value from the array, do you need to like the one we have the name, the age,
we can clearly hear you. We can clearly hear you. Sorry, we can't hear you properly. Sorry. We can
oh,
barely hear you.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm asking, like in your new variable where you're trying to destructure, must you use name, age, like must you use the keys from your this thing, from the object? Can
I
you
didn't
use
get that.
any?
Is at the ending part your voice became more clear.
Oh, okay, so what I'm asking now, so in your objects now, you have name and you have age.
Ah,
Keep your
I can
phone
barely hear you.
face now.
Let me
I
type
can
my
barely hear you.
question.
I think can you type in the general group? I'm looking at it now. Let me get my phone. While she's doing that, please does anyone have any question? Okay. Is there anyone who has a question while we are waiting for our own? I'm not going further. The rest operators will continue tomorrow with other operators I'll discuss tomorrow. And then I'm also discussing, I'll share the topics we'll be discussing tomorrow so that it will aid you. Then the local storage, oh, I'll do justice to that tomorrow because that's the key thing that we are lacking. We all felt like we can't work without a back end. You can work without a back end. So tomorrow you'll be understanding what local storage is all about. So is there anybody that has any question? I'll shed more light on that. So to help you on your project. Is there anybody that have any question? Who was asking? You can ask your question. We can't uh can you hear me? Someone she was trying to ask a question. Rapid API. Okay. I think she just. So I'm asking in the destructuring, must you use the exact keywords from the object? As you have name, age as the keys in your object, must you use name and key? And see Stephanie, what would you use to destructure it now? You would use those things now. What else would you use? You use those things. You can't perform magic. If we all can, if there's a way we can do it, people would have been doing it. So you only use that to destructure it. Is it clear enough?